All right, this video right here is going to be more so to my people out there who are more so gamers and everything like that, but it actually ties into what I usually do as far as commentary on this channel. Now, y'all are looking at the screen and wondering, Torian, who the hell is this woman? Well, let's take it back a little bit. A couple years ago, there was a show that came out on Disney Plus called Kenobi or Obi-Wan. And it was basically a spin-off show that talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars, that was talking about what was going on with his character after the events of episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And I had did a video about this woman and some things that she said about this actress named Moses Ingram, who is a black woman, a black actress in that show, and how she got so much flack for that show. And you know, it got so bad to the point where the main actor who plays Obi-Wan had to come out and say something. But I did a video on her then. As a matter of fact, she got so much flack for what she said to this woman or about this woman that her channel engagement took a huge hit from that, because people was going in on her. I think now she's kind of gotten back into her own rhythm, but you know, that was like 2 years ago when the show came out, 2 or 3 years ago. So the algorithm probably has more than adjusted since then. And I haven't done another video on this woman since, but I'm about to do this one on her now, because what she said about this new Wolverine game has a lot of people shaking their heads and looking at her with a side eye again, except those outside of her echo chamber. Now, before I actually get into everything and insert the clip, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So every year, Sony, who owns the PlayStation, does something called State of Play. State of Play is an event where they show and highlight trailers for any upcoming games that the PlayStation is about to come out with in the upcoming year. And one of those trailers that they showed this year was for the upcoming and most anticipated Wolverine game. This game was actually announced back in, I think, 2021, and they released bits and pieces here and there over time, but they never came out with any trailers and any updates. The date of the game kept getting pushed back over and over again. So as a surprise, the people who watched the State of Play didn't know they was going to drop this trailer, and they ended off the State of Play event with this trailer, which I actually did watch the trailer, and let me tell you, it's well worth the wait. Like, it looks amazing. It has everything there that you would think a Wolverine game should have in its game. If y'all haven't seen the trailer, I would highly suggest that you watch it if you are a gamer, of course. So they showed the trailer for it, and the game is slated to come out in fall of next year. I told people 2026 is going to be a good year for gamers, because you got to think you're going to have GTA 6, which has been anticipated for years now, that's finally coming out next year. Then you're going to have this game that was anticipated for years that's coming out next year as well. I had said in a jokingly way that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be taking quote unquote sick days next year when these two games come out. But that's neither here nor there. So they released the trailer for this, and it got pretty much a lot of good reception. But of course, people like this woman here who goes by the name of Vara on YouTube had to insert something in here that I just could not ignore. And I actually saw this clip when I was on the Watts TV channel, and shout out to him. I didn't know he was going to talk about this towards the end of his stream that he recently did. And I said, I battled back and forth. Do I make a video about this or don't I? And I literally went back and forth about this for like 2 days, because I was like, I'm not going to touch it. Let me not mess with it. But I just, you know, it's one of them things where you just can't get out of your head. Okay, let me just go ahead and do it and get it out the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert the clip of what she said as it pertains to the NPCs or non-playable characters that the Wolverine character is fighting in the trailer, and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
AKA sensitive snowflakes on social media. One thing that I thought was really weird about this trailer that I had said while I was live streaming the State of Play is the fact that 90% of the enemies that Wolverine is beating up are minorities. So I just have a very sneaking suspicion that it's going to be about his white privilege and him coming to terms with that and him trying to become a better man. I just have a feeling that that is not a coincidence, that's for sure.
When I saw that, I literally said in the back of my mind, what the hell is she talking about? That's what she got from the trailer. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, when I watched that trailer, that was far from my mind. When I was looking at that trailer, all I saw was Wolverine or Logan going in, slicing and dicing and cutting and doing his thing. You know, like you would expect Wolverine to be the savage beast that he is. I was not looking at the race or the ethnicity of the people that he was fighting. The point of the game is to fight through your enemies no matter who they are, and, you know, get to the end, get to your final goal and beat the game. I found it very interesting that this person right here, who clearly, as you can see, is a white woman, actually sat there and chose this as a nitpick to go in about an issue that she has with a game that, mind you, she has not played. None of us have played it yet. This is the first official trailer. The game does not come out until next year. We saw a little bit of glimpses of gameplay, but a lot of it was mainly in-game footage, like trailer footage for the game as far as promo goes. And this is what she's decided to come out on. I believe she was also one of those people that had a lot to say about the Yasuke character in Assassin's Creed Shadow. Like, many of them had something to say, but now that the game has basically turned a profit and became one of the best games that came out, at least in the first quarter, they got instantly quiet after that, and I have a feeling they're going to do the same thing with this as well. These are also the same people that had something to say about GTA 6 because they had the nerve to have a non-white woman as a co-lead in the game as well, again, for a game that has not come out yet. These people are so miserable. They are living in misery. I don't give a damn what Wolverine or who he's taking out in the game, as long as he's taking them out. Again, these are his enemies. These are his ops. He has to go through obstacles in order to get to the final level, the final boss, or however it is that the game is going to do. The game looks good to me. It looks dope as hell to me. And I'm sure it does to millions of other people who have seen and looked at it for what it is. You have to be pretty goddamn miserable to sit behind a computer screen in front of a microphone and say that, oh, that 92% of the enemies that Wolverine is killing in this game happen to be minorities. How do you know? How in the hell do you know that? From a trailer that's like, what, 2 minutes and some change long? What? So you're saying that's all he's taken out in the entire game, even though we saw him fighting Omega Red, and it looks like he was about to fight a whole Sentinel, which is a machine. And I think Omega Red would be considered white. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but he ain't black, or he wouldn't be considered a quote unquote minority. Like, that is absolutely wild to me. And then she says something about his white privilege. Technically, if you think about it, when you think about what X-Men is, they were created at a time during the civil rights movement, and they would be considered to be as an oppressed class because it's less of them and more of humans. Humans would be seen as the white supremacists, and the mutants were seen more so as black. They were seen as an oppressed group. So Logan would be a part of what would be called an oppressed group, even though he's Canadian, he's white Canadian. He would still be seen as, you know, the lesser than, or not normal compared to the humans. Common sense would tell you that. But like I said, it must have been a slow news day back at the lab for her to come on here and make that assertion. Like I said, all I can do is to simply laugh at it. Now, it was another comment that she made, but I don't have the clip for that. But it was about Mystique, because in the trailer, Mystique is actually shown to be a character in the game. I don't know if you'll be able to play as her, but it looks like you probably will based on the footage that was shown. You might be able to do a mission there where you're able to play with her as well. Do you know that this woman had the nerve to say that in the trailer, Mystique looks like she's trans? And I'm sitting there saying to myself, what? And I'm like, what would make you come to that assumption that this character is trans? And then even went as far as to say that she's ugly, that the game uglified her, that she doesn't look feminine and all types of stuff. And I'm like sitting to myself, oh, I know what it is. You're going based off the look of Mystique from the Fox movies, you know, with Rebecca Romijn and Jennifer Lawrence, you know, when she was walking around in blue and had no clothes on. That's basically, in my opinion, that's what you're going based off of. Well, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people don't see Mystique as the most, I guess you could say, attractive looking character. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. She's fit, she has a good physique, but a lot of people don't say, oh, she's like the most fascinating looking character. As a matter of fact, if you talk about when they talk about Marvel female characters that look good, Mystique a lot of the times doesn't even get mentioned in people's top 5 for the most part. Now she has a dope ability because she's a shapeshifter. Like that is a very dope ability, especially if you're trying to get out of situations that you're not supposed to be in, or you can maneuver in a way to get yourself into situations to get a job or a mission complete. That is a dope ability to have. But to say that you said she looks like she's trans, that was another thing that would have never came to my mind, and it's still not there because I'm looking at them like, trans where? See, these again, they put stuff out there like this again to rage bait, to click bait, and of course get views and everything like that, and then turn around and when the game comes out, they sneakingly buy the game, and then they end up playing the damn game and end up enjoying it, even if they will come online and say that they don't. They sitting up there lying, they really do. It kind of reminds me of when you had Tyrone Magnus flipping out about X-Men 97's first season and how he wasn't going to watch it because, in his words, they took Rogue's cakes, aka her ass, because apparently Rogue had a lot of ass and it wasn't there. But what ended up happening after the show came on, this dude was reviewing and reacting to every goddamn episode every week like the rest of us who watched it. So I don't take anything these fools say seriously. It's actually pretty pathetic and sad that you have people like her, like actually this was a nitpick for you. And then when you look in her comment section, there's nothing but an echo chamber over there. There are some people over there that are clowning her, but a lot of people, like, she has an echo chamber, so of course, you know, a lot of them, they're living outside of their mind and, you know, living out of the crack of their ass, talking out of it too, much like she is. But at the end of the day, what's craziest about her whole thing is that this is a white woman complaining about something that you wouldn't think a lot of white women would even talk about. These are the same people that talks about quote unquote woke ideologies all the damn time, and she's literally contradicting herself. I don't know if she's realizing that she's doing that or not. But again, it's the same woman that got clowned and checked and cooked for what she said about Moses Ingram a few years ago, and she should have. And like I said, her engagement took a hit because of that, and she had to really rebrand. Like, because after that happened, I'm gonna be honest with you, every week I went to her, I would type her name in and go and see what the views was looking like on any video that she uploaded since then, and them views was looking pitiful. So she had to really rework herself to get back to wherever she is now. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this ridiculous bullshit down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.